So hello everyone, once again welcome back to our channel English Grammar and Literature World. Dear friends, in today's class we'll be completed some important questions from our most awaited topic, and that is idioms and phrases. In this class we'll be cover total 20 questions from frequently asked idioms and phrases. And at the end of the class, you have to comment and let us know how many marks you got. So let's begin today's class. So look at the first one. What does the idiom part and parcel mean? So look, the idiom part and parcel means an essential or integral part of something that cannot be separated from the whole. So part and parcel means an essential or integral part of something. Okay, so look at the options. Here option B, an essential part of something, is the correct answer. Next, what does to be at dagger's dawn mean? The idiom suggests to be in the state of extreme hostility or bitter conflict with someone. So to be at dagger's dawn means extreme hostility or bitter conflict. Understand? So look at the options. Here option A, to be extreme hostility, is the correct answer. Next one, what does the last nail in the coffin mean? So look, this idiom refers to the final event or action that makes an already difficult situation completely unsuccessful or impossible to cover. Understand? So here option C, the final event causing failure, is the correct meaning of the idiom the last nail in the coffin. Understand? Next, what does fair and square mean? So look, the idiom fair and square means behaving honestly, fairly, and according to accepted rules without cheating or deception. Okay, so the idiom suggests honesty or fair. So look at the options. Here option B, honesty and fairly, is the correct meaning of the idiom fair and square. Next, what does like a fish out of water mean? So look, this idiom describes someone who feels uncomfortable, awkward, or unfamiliar in a particular situation or event. So the idiom like a fish out of water means awkward, or you can add uncomfortable. Okay, so look at the options. Here option A, to feel uneasy, is the correct meaning of the idiom like a fish out of water. What does the phrase heart and soul mean? So the idiom heart and soul means giving complete attention, effort, enthusiasm, and dedication to something. Okay, so heart and soul means one kind of enthusiasm or full of dedication. So look at the options. Here option D, with complete dedication, is the correct meaning of the idiom heart and soul. Next, what does to be under a cloud mean? So look, this idiom means to be suspected of wrongdoing or to be in a state of disgrace. Okay, so look at the options. Here option C, to be under suspicion or disgrace. So option C is the correct meaning of the idiom to be under a cloud. Next, what does pros and cons means? So this one is very important idiom. This idiom refers to the positive and negative aspect of something, especially when consider a decision. So here option A Advantages and disadvantages is the correct meaning of the idiom. Pros and cons. Next, what does overhead and ears mean? So this idiom, overhead and ears, means being deeply or completely involved in something, especially an activity, situation or problem. So here option D, completely or deeply involved, is the correct meaning of the idiom overhead and ears. Next, what does toil and moil means? Toil and moil means to work extremely hard, usually for a long time and under difficult conditions. So look at the options. Here option B, to work very hard, is the correct meaning of the idiom toil and moil. Okay. Next, what does semi side of life? So this one is very important. So this idiom refers to the unpleasant, corrupt, immoral or hidden aspect of society and human life. So semi side of life suggests one kind of corrupt, or you can add immoral side of life. So here option C, the unpleasant or immoral side of life, is the correct meaning of the idiom semi side of life. Next, what does New York minute? So tell me the correct meaning of the idiom New York minute. This idiom refers to an extremely short period, emphasizing the speed with which something happens. So New York minute means short time period. So here option B, a very short period, is the correct meaning of the idiom New York minute. Next, what does pay lip service? So look, the idiom pay lip service means expressing support or approval for something without genuinely believing in or supporting it. So that means you can take option C, to give insincere support, is the correct meaning of the idiom pay lip service. Next, what does from pillar to post mean? The idiom from pillar to post means being sent or moved repeatedly from one person or place to another without receiving proper help. So that means option D, from one place to person to another, is the correct meaning of the idiom from pillar to post. Next, what does keep the wolf from the door means? This idiom means earning or obtaining enough money to meet basic needs and avoid poverty or starvation. Okay, so here option B, and that is to avoid poverty or hunger, is the correct meaning of the idiom keep the wolf from the door. Next, what does a red letter day means? So a red letter day generally suggests a special day, important or memorable day, and that is celebrated or remembered for a significant reason. So red letter day basically suggests a special day or important day. So look at the options. Here option C, a very important or memorable day, is the correct meaning of the idiom a red letter day. Next, what does the idiom green-eyed monster? So the idiom green-eyed monster is a figurative expression used to describe jealousy, especially when it becomes strong or destructive. So green-eyed monster suggests jealousy. So look at the options. Here option C, jealousy, is the correct meaning of the idiom green-eyed monster. Next, what does a cold day in July? So look, a cold day in July describes an event that is extremely unlikely or almost impossible to happen. So this means something which is almost impossible to happen. Now look at the options. Here option B, something extremely unlikely to happen, is the correct meaning of the idiom a cold letter in July. Next, what does go through fire and water? So look, this idiom means being willing to face severe difficulties, danger or hardships to achieve something or help someone. So here option A, and that is to face any difficulty or danger, is the correct meaning of the idiom. Go through fire and water. So this is the last one. Look at the question. What does cry for the moon mean? Look at the option. Is it to express deep sadness? Is it to ask for something that is impossible? Or to complain about the weather? Or to hope for quick success? So what is the correct answer? You have to tell me in the comment section. So friends, here are total 20 questions with a short and easy explanation. I think you enjoyed this session most, and in our next topic we'll be talking about another important topics. So till then, keep reading, keep writing, and keep subscribing English Grammar and Literature World. And one important announcement, and that is, if you want to get PDF of this class, then you have to join our official Telegram channel. Link is given in the description. So have a nice day. Thanks for watching.